Hello Stampers, it's Jackie Bolhuis from Klompen Stampers. Boy, do we have a full video today. I have a super fun designer series paper card layout to share with you. It's easy and it works perfect with any papers. It's going to be great for using up your scraps. We're going to talk about this banner punch, and I have some tips for you how to use it and make it work the best for you. Plus I have probably 20 samples that I want to show you and tell you about a tutorial I have available in case you're interested. Now there's going to be a ton happening, so make sure you hang on, watch all the way to the end, and then don't forget, if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. You can request a catalog over on my website. The link will be right down there in the video description, or you can contact me, leave me a comment, email me, and I'd be happy to answer all your stamping questions. So we got to get going because we have a lot to share. So let me flip the camera down and let's get started. Like I said, it's a busy day in video land today. So like I said, we're featuring designer series paper. You guys all know I love designer series paper. And the one I'm using today is this Heartwarming Hugs. Now, sometimes I know we get wrapped up in the sweets and we think, I don't like coffee stuff. I flip through these pages. Don't do that. Make sure you check out all the individual products that are part of a suite. So this paper is part of the Heartwarming Hugs, and we're going to use that. And then I'm also going to use the Wrapped in Christmas stamp set. Now, this again doesn't have to be with all the coffee stuff, but there's some great Christmas greetings in here, or the idea I have to share with you will work with any greetings, as well as any designer series paper. It's a great way to use up all those scraps that I know you have hanging out at home there. Then let's flip back almost all the way to the back, and there is this fun new punch called the Banners Pick-a-Punch. I finally got this and I am in love. This is definitely a punch you're going to want on your next order, but I have a lot of tips for you because sometimes we struggle. How big do we cut our cardstock, or what size to get the best look out of our punch? So let's go ahead, set this aside. Oh, and I have this sitting here too. This will show you that Heartwarming Hugs designer series paper. Great paper. I love it. Is red and green, so it's perfect for Christmas. We're going to make Christmas cards today, but it really doesn't have to be just for Christmas cards. These are very generic designs that you can make any type of cards with and use it really year round. Love the colors of this paper. So now let's set this aside and let's get to our card. So first we're going to start out with our card base, and then we're going to move into that punch and the greeting. So what I've done is cut 4 strips here. Now these are 1 inch wide. Let's see, trying to lay them out how I want them. That looks pretty good. They're 4 inches by 1 inch. So 5 of them fits perfectly across a normal piece of cardstock. Now don't worry about these measurements. I will have them all listed over on my website on the post that goes with this video. I'll have pictures of these cards along with all my measurements and my supply list. And then the other thing you're going to find over there is a super duper awesome tutorial. If you like projects with quick and easy projects, I should say, that focus on designer series paper, you're going to want to check that out. Now, I'm kind of talking and gluing. I should tell you what I'm doing because I want these pretty evenly spaced here. I found the best way to do that is go to the left, go to the right, and then we're going to come back and we'll do this one. And then we will do this one, and that middle one kind of picks up the slack. So your eye won't really notice if that middle one, if the spacing between the pieces is a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. Ooh, we're going to be pretty little bit smaller on those spaces there. So I guess I was talking and not paying so much attention. These actually should be moved out a little bit further, but that's okay. You get the point here. So there is our card base. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a greeting from this Wrapped in Christmas, and I kind of played around and I figured out it fits perfectly on a 1 inch wide strip. And this is where we're going to play with this tag punch, or banner punch, whatever they call it. Now, this punch, you can put in pieces that are 1 inch wide, 3/4, or a half. So let's just use, I took a bunch of scraps here just to show you. So this is a 1 inch piece, so we can slide it in there. When you slide it in there, if it's a little bit you know, smaller than those grooves, just kind of eyeball center it in those grooves, push it all the way back so it's nice and flush against the back, and punch it. And look at that nice banner you get. Now the other one on this side, we can do the exact same thing. We're going to slide it in there and punch it. And this time you get this sort of edge on it. So I love the versatility of this punch. So that's 1 inch. And then we can take a 3/4 inch, which this one, I've punched this piece already. You can see I've punched both sides. So if you wanted to do some layering, that will layer on there. And then we can also take 1/4 inch pieces. And the same thing with this. When this slides in there, it's going to go down into those bottom grooves, and we can do either side with that one as well. So very versatile punch. Now the question I get asked all the time, how do we know what size to cut this, you know, to make sure we're punching it correctly? So that's what I want to share with you today. Now, there's a few tips. The first one would be, I like to take and punch my edge first. So we're going to use this side. So I have the 1 inch piece. We're going to punch our ends. And because for this, I want this to be on the right-hand side, we're going to stick it over to the right. Now, when I stamp, I am going to stamp as far over to the right there as I want it. Sorry, I had to try to get that lined up. Usually I have my head straight over it. And look at, I missed. So let's try this again. Love that we have 2 pieces of paper, or 2 sides every piece of paper. So let's try it again. That's better. Could have been up a little bit, but if you guys saw me, usually when I stamp, my head is like right over it, and so you'd get nothing but my hair. So we left it that way. Okay, now if you want to punch this other side and you want a nice even, you know, banner, you know, here's my little trick. We're going to take the piece that we punched off originally. So you can see it, I only lost that much of my cardstock. So what I do is I take this over here on this side and I lay this piece where I want it to be. So I'm just kind of, you know, eyeballing how far in do we want that little point to go. And then I just draw a pencil line. Then I grab my paper cutter. And what I'm going to do is that pencil line, and it doesn't have to be perfectly straight or whatever, but that's where I want to cut. So we're going to do that. And what I did was that kind of marked how much is going to come off. So now when I slide this in here, slide it all the way back like so, and punch it, you'll see my banner is the exact size that I want it. I hope that makes sense to you. You can do the exact same thing with these other pieces. Now these I've cut already. Let's go ahead and just play to show you. This one, 3/4 inch, we're going to bring it in on this side so you can see how much it punched off. So if I wanted to layer these, and let's say we want, oh, we're not going to have room to layer. If this was longer, let me grab a longer, this one will work, because I want to just kind of make you understand these little tricks to getting this the right size. So we punched that. Here's what punched off. So if I was going to layer this now, we're going to lay it on right where we want it. Take the piece that came off, and we're going to lay it here. Now you have to kind of eyeball how much of that pear pizzazz, you know, right here do you want showing. Draw a little line right there. Okay, let's grab the cutter again, and then we can trim that off. Now we'll put it in our punch and punch it. So now that should be the size that I figured out I needed by using that scrap. Makes sense? I sure hope so. Now, we might as well use this piece for our card. So let's go ahead and put some adhesive on the back. I didn't really know how I was going to finish this card before I started doing the video. I thought, oh, we'll just wing it and play with the punch. And when I'm done here, I have 3 other samples that I use the banner punch just to show you different ways to put these together. Now, if you wanted to, you could even layer another one. Actually, I kind of like that. Let's layer that one out to the side. Another thing you could do, instead of figuring out the exact size you want, you can make a long one and cut it in half, and then we can go ahead and stick that like so. You know, it's just, there's all kinds of different ways to do it, and I think part of it is just figuring out what really works the best for you. So there's, let's try to line it up so it's the same. That looks good. Okay, there is our little Christmas greeting. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and stick this on here. It's kind of fun because this one turned out completely different than the other 3 that I have to share with you. That it's the same basic card layout, but I tried to mix it up how I use this punch to show you different ways to put the different designs together. So let's go ahead. That's almost as wide as the card, so we're going to go ahead and put it right there. And then if you want to add just a little bling to your card, I've got the red rhinestones. For rhinestones or any of these embellishments, I like to use the take your pick tool and that pointed end to pick them up and place them, oops, where I want, or to throw them all over the place. Let's see, I'm going to come way over here. I like to do 3. You can definitely do more or less, but I always like things in odd numbers. So 3 little rhinestones on there. And then don't forget to stamp the inside. So we do have another greeting that's going to come right out of that same stamp set. We'll put a little, let's go this way, put a little strip of designer series paper. This inside piece is 4 by 5 1/4. Now again, measurements will be all over on the website. So follow the link down in the video description and you'll see all of them. Put the little strip of designer series paper there. And then we're going to go ahead and stick this to the inside of the card. And then one last thing before we move on to all those other samples I have to share with you is the envelope. You know, we have a saying, envelopes can't go in the mail with being boring. So you can stamp on your envelope. The other thing I like to do when I'm really focusing on my cards just using designer series paper is I put adhesive on the flap, and then I have a scrap of that designer series paper. It doesn't matter what size it is, as long as it's big enough to completely cover that flap. So I just kind of go through my stash and find a piece that'll fit. And then we just take our little snips. If you don't have these little snips, these are the best little scissors. They fit your hands good and they cut super good with that short little tip. And there we go. There is our Christmas card. Now let me move some of these scraps away and we're going to start looking at other cards. So first, we're going to look at 2 other ones that I made the same way. I just used different card bases, different colors based on the colors that are in the designer series paper. Here's those same 4 by 1 inch strips. There's our envelope. Love the stripes. But here you can see my banner. This is a 1 inch and a 1 inch and a 3/4 inch. And I just did all the same end on them. Now I will tell you what I did was, let's make believe here a little bit. Let's make believe this one has our words stamped on it. Okay, so it's stamped on there. Then I just took my other pieces and I glued them on there. Okay, we're just going to make believe. We glue that one there. We could glue that one there. Get it how you want it and glue them all together. Then I took my paper cutter and I cut off this end. So now they're all even on that side of it. So that's how I did that one. I didn't have to worry about marking it with a pencil or anything. You know, just let these ends be whatever and then cut it nice and flush to add it on there. And then the inside of all of these are the same. And then let's see, that's one we did. Then here is another one. Now this time you can see on the white, I did the opposite. Okay, so we used this end of it. This one I did do that way. I punched one side, I stamped it, and then I used the little scrap to decide where to punch or to cut it and then punch it. And then here's another piece for underneath. But I love how you can just layer using, you know, different sides of that punch and layer it. Quick and easy Christmas card, but I think they're awesome. These are going to go out to some of my friends and family. Now, ready to see a whole bunch of more? Now, are you ready to see a whole bunch more cards featuring designer series paper? So what I have to share with you, I put together a tutorial that has 10 different card layouts. Actually, it's more than 10 cards. And this is a tutorial I offered for free back in August to the people that purchased my card share. So if you did get the card share, Designer Series Paper Share. If you got that, you already have this tutorial. If you did not get the Paper Share and you'd like this tutorial, it is available for purchase now. So I want to go through and show you all the different layouts that you'll find in the tutorial. So first up, we have the card that I just made for you. Here are several more examples. You know, the whole idea of this tutorial is to take card layouts that you can use any stamps, any papers, any colors, anything you have. So here's 3 cards made with that same layout. Now don't forget, you can hop over to the website and I will have all the measurements and details for making that one if you want it. So there is one layout. Now, this next one, this is actually a little one-sheet wonder. The layout itself shows you how to make 4 cards from one 6x6 piece. If you don't have 6x6 and you have 12x12, well, that's simple. Just cut it down and get yourself a 6x6 out of it, and you can make those 4 cards. This set is also a one-sheet wonder that uses a 6x6 piece. So, like I said, this is just ways to show you different ways to use your Designer Series paper on cards. The little whale guy, I love him. This also is a 6x6. We're all upside down. One-sheet wonder. So I think there's 3 6x6 one-sheet wonders as part of this tutorial. And let's see. Here is our little doggies. Aren't they cute? This one just gives you all the measurements and shows you the idea. So, like I said, the purpose is really to show you, oh, that bow got smashed, huh? All different layouts and give you all the cutting dimensions to make lots of different cards that really focus on using Designer Series paper. Here's another one with strips. This one uses a little bit more coordinating colored cardstock. One of my personal favorites, the triangles. So, what paper can you visualize this one in? I think, you know, so many of the packs of paper have, you know, bigger, bolder designs and then more subtle ones. I think those are perfect for mix and matching them. And the peony. Oh, again, nope, this one's not really a one-sheet wonder, but it shows you how to cut your paper to make 2 cards at one time. And then another layout using this paper. So if you like to use Designer Series paper and want a collection of 10 different tutorials or 10 different layouts, actually there's more than that because those one-sheet wonders give you more than 10 card ideas. But I have that tutorial available over on my website. As I sign off here, just a quick reminder that link will be down in the video description. That'll take you over there, not only for the tutorial, but also for pictures and all the details for the card that I did make for you today. So if you have questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Leave me a comment, reach out. I'd love to help you with all your questions, and I'd love to help you learn to make quick and easy cards. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order, you can do that over at the website. Also, don't forget to check out my rewards programs. I love to send free stamps to all my loyal customers. So until I stamp with you again, have a stamp happy day.